Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar, Automation Made Easy with Easy Bank Rec. All right, so we're going to start with introductions. First, I am Ashley Canali, the Client Strategy Manager here at Interdyne Artists. Presenting today will be Guy Caron with GPC Systems, the makers of Easy Bank Rec. As far as your questions, if you would please put them in the question box over on the right-hand side in the webinar. We'll compile those at the end and answer them all at the end. Also, we will be recording this webinar, so we'll send a copy of that recording once it's ready and we're finished. All right. Perfect. Last but not least, we always like to let you guys know about Vision. Vision is our annual user conference. This year it is 2 days. It's going to be April 23rd and April 24th, right here in Charlotte, uptown Charlotte at the Ritz-Carlton. Unlike past years, this year is going to be 2 days. Day one is going to cover some other systems, Dynamics 365 systems, so but Business Central, NAV, Customer Engagement, or CRM as some people know it. It's going to cover emerging technologies as well. GP content is still plenty. There's going to be a ton of GP content still on day two. We're going to sprinkle in some more emerging technologies as well for day two. So we hope you can join us. If you go to that link down at the bottom there, there's more information and you can register there as well. So at this point, I'm going to hand the presentation over to Guy. Thank you, Guy.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Guy Caron with GPC Systems. And at this time, we're going to do like a very small presentation on our product, Easy Bank Rec, and how automation with Easy Bank Rec takes the manual work out of the bank reconciliation and automates it mostly directly out of an electronic bank statement into our product. I want to thank Interdyne Artists for bringing this up and allowing us to present this to you. And what we're going to do is do a few slides, and then we'll go live into a demo and discuss what we can do and show you the different elements. Here's a video that will explain a few of the elements that we do. And we've been doing bank recs for a very long time and feel that that is really one of our fortes. And you will see that it is quite easy because we work inside the Dynamics GP product, and we are able to match it directly and match all your items that are on the bank statement inside our application to the GP transaction in the bank rec. We'll also do some automations. We'll match them by document number and by amount. And we'll also allow you to book some entries automatically, and we'll show you that. And lastly, we offer a nice reconciliation summary, offering you any of the variances. And with one button, you can do all the click marks inside Dynamics GP. So, the reasons why you want to use Easy Bank Rec is to simplify the bank reconciliation processes. You're helping the user simplify and streamline their processes and build their user confidence to benefit the user and your business. The flexibility of configuring the automation is also a key element. One inspired confidence with the automation that builds on each other, which means the more you automate, the less you have to do manual data entry. Enormous time saving for matching and automated bank transactions will ensure things are all lined up for the last steps, and then you can find the inevitable discrepancies. Easy Bank Rec window will provide the visibility along the reconciliation with all of those elements. In our demonstration, we're going to show you those 5 steps that you see. We're going to do an automatic matching by the document number as the first step once we import. And then we're going to do some matching by amount. This is for transactions that possibly do not have a document number. And thirdly, we're going to set up some automatic bank transactions, which means we will be using the description on the bank statement to be able to record transactions inside Dynamics GP. And we'll do a quick high-level review of what's the GL bank module and the GL and the bank module in order to make sure we can identify any discrepancies. And lastly, we'll mark everything inside GP so you don't have to do the click marks by hand. So I'm going to switch over to our application itself. And in our application, you will see a big bright yellow screen. The left-hand side shows you the transaction inside Dynamics GP in the bank rec module. And you start your bank rec as you always do by using the Reconcile bank statement screen, putting in your balance and your cutoff dates. And then the rest we do all in our application until the very last step. So we're going to go through some actions here. And we're going to import the bank file first, and that will match items by document number. We'll follow that with doing the ability to match by amounts. We first do that with the positive amounts or money in, and then we will do that with the money out as well. Both of those are intended to be done for document numbers that are missing from the bank statement, and therefore the only way you can match them is by amount. Lastly, and maybe the most important feature that we have and has become very popular, is the fact that we can automate some transactions directly from the bank statement, avoiding you having to key those. They typically would be ZBAs, interest, service charges, credit card charges, or anything that you feel is a unique description on your bank statement to allow us to associate that with a debit and a credit and book them as a decrease or increase adjustment inside Dynamics GP. Last but not least, when we're all done and things are matched up, we will use this option here to mark all the items inside Dynamics GP as being reconciled. So without further ado, we're going to import the bank file. It's as simple as finding the statement that needs to be imported. You click import, and we imported about 1,000 transactions every 2-3 seconds. You'll see the coloring scheme changed in this case. So items in yellow are open items in the Dynamics GP bank rec module and have not yet been matched with an item on the bank statement. Items in blue or teal on the right-hand side here, you can notice there is no document number here. Those are items that are on the bank statement that we have not yet matched with an item inside Dynamics GP. So if I go to the next screen, you will see a set of items that are white. Those are perfect matches. Item on the left is your bank rec entry or your AP check, for example, for number 233, matched up with this bank statement item. And you can see the variance is 0, therefore it's a perfect match. All items that are in white are basically candidates for marking inside an IGP with the click marks you normally do inside the application. If we go all the way down, we have one other color in red. That is to identify items that are matched by document number, the 90240 here, as well with the 90240 on the bank. But you will see that the issuance amount is $142, while the cashed amount is $145. So the variance is $3. And we allow you, if you so desire, to book the variances right here. Mistake at, I should probably type it correctly, mistake at data entry. And if you book this, we will record an additional $3 on this particular check number, and we are done. The big advantage of this is that if I then book this and I go back and look at this particular document, I can go find it, and you will see there is a big red 2. it means there's now 2 transactions against that check number, the original $142, as well as the additional $3. It's up to you to decide if you wish to book things in that manner. You can put a limit as to how much money you're willing to book in the D button. And for example, we have a variance of $400 on this particular item. I can say, well, I'll book the variance. My limitation is at $200. So we've disabled that feature once the variance is too large. We have the ability also to change the display to only show items that are not matching. By changing that, I only have on my screen items that are either unmatched on the bank in GP or unmatched on the bank statement in blue. And you can see this is all I am left with after my import. So what we're going to do is we're going to take those items here on the right-hand side that have an amount, and we're going to see if we can find that amount on the left-hand side. If you carefully look, you will see that some of these positive amounts here, like the $10,000 here, we will see if we can match them automatically. So it takes all the items in blue, and it tries to find matching items on the left side, which is the Dynamics GP side. And you can see that we have 5 matches, and one of them is in yellow. The reason it's in yellow, it's above the value of 4, which is 4 days between March 11th and March 19th. And therefore, we say we should probably take a close look at that. Therefore, we don't automatically match them. We're going to take the deposit numbers that are on the left, and we are going to put the deposit numbers on the right into the bank statement by just clicking an Update Deposits button at the bottom. And it now means that those 4 items will have disappeared from our unmatched set of items. If I click Show just to refresh, you can see that my number of yellows shrunk. And we do the same thing when we want to match outbound monies or monies out. And we take items in blue, yet again, try to find perfect matches on the bank statement here into GP. These might be checks that the microencoding did not record properly, and therefore the bank was not able to read them. If I'm comfortable with these 2, I can basically take those 2 check numbers and automatically put them on the right-hand side. This would also work for EFT, ACHs, any kind of electronic activity, because typically banks do not put a document number for either inbound or outbound electronic activities, and therefore you often have to match them by hand. So we've now done the first 3 steps, which is we imported the bank statement, and that automatically matched all the items by bank document number. We then executed the next 2 steps, which is really taking the monies in and matched them by amount. And then we took the monies out and we matched them by amount as well. And then probably, as I mentioned before, one of the most exciting things is these automated transactions. We have in our sample file here a BAI code here, and a 275 BAI code are ZBAs, for example. You can see it in the description. 575, they are ZBAs as well, but they're outbound ZBAs. So zero balance accounts have transactions between 2 of them. And I'm going to show you that we have these set up that automatically will book those. So by just clicking on our automated bank transaction option, it took all of the 575s and 275s and it booked them automatically for me. At least it would if I processed here the automated bank transactions at the bottom. Having said that, I'm going to add a few new bank transactions, and I'm going to do so by trying to find a transaction that I believe I might want to automate. So you can see here, I have an automated credit card fee that came in, which is maybe my credit card processing company is taking money from my account on a daily or weekly basis. I can actually hover over the description, and while I hover over the description, I can right-click, and by right-clicking on the description, I am able to say I only want to grab the CC with the following number, and I'm saying, okay, this is fine. I'm going to take this as an expense, so my expense might be 60 cents. These are bank fees, They should be credit card fees, but for our example, 100 here is my bank account. By saving this, it will remember that every time we upload the bank statement, it will take for this particular Wachovia account and for BAI code 455, if it finds this description, or it can make it even less, it will grab this and it will automatically book either a decrease adjustment in this case because this is an expense. So if I save this and I close it, I can go back to my automated transactions, click on it, and you will see that we definitely have all of our automated transactions for our ZBAs that start here. These are outbound ZBAs. These are inbound ZBAs. And my two new transactions that I did right here are here as well. I have two credit card fees that were identified in my upload, and I'm basically going to book those automatically for me. And so if I process the bank tape transactions here at the bottom, I say yes. Off it goes. And you can see that I've shrunk considerably the amount of transactions I now need to match. The purpose of our automated transactions is to eliminate as many transactions that we can so that people don't have to key them in by hand and so that people can focus on items that are not matching. Our goal is to go through step 1, 2, 3, 4, and have as little as we can of unmatched transactions here. We have a couple tools that we now can use to enable you to match transactions between Dynamics GP and the bank statement. And some of the tools are that you can right-click on an amount, and it will find your possible matches, particularly useful in case you have many of the same transactions and you have a very long list that's outstanding. You can then grab the number, drop it into the other side, and basically these two items will then be matched. If I click show all and I click show, those two items will disappear. Furthermore, we can also do such things as booking things on the fly. So if I decide that this particular 9908 here should be booked and it was a transfer that I forgot to book, I can drill down and I can go ahead and click on the transfer button. It knows that this was money that went outbound, and so I can select to which account this was being taken from and go to Unbound Trust, and then we go from there, and that will post these items all the way through. And so at this point, we can close this particular item, and we're going to go ahead and post these. We can do the same thing with the other transactions that we have for a bank transaction. So if I forgot to book this check for $1,400, I can click on the bank transactions here. It fills the screen for me, which means you don't have to exit the bank reconciliation where you are at this time. And what you can do is you can actually go ahead and specify what kind of expense this might be. And if this is maybe, I don't know, let's see what we get here. Miscellaneous income, if that's what it is. Well, this is maybe not the right thing, but you understand where I'm going with it. You actually, the only thing you need to do is record the distributions for the bank transaction, and you are done. So no need to get out of our application. You can do your GP transaction right from our window. And as you refresh it, yet again, that item will disappear from the screen and it will continue to shrink. The goal is to eliminate as many blue items as we can because the blue items represent the bank statement. And by doing so, you are basically matching everything on the bank statement to something in GP. Lastly, but not the least, I can do a one-to-many, many-to-many, or many-to-one. If I highlight this first item here, take a look at what happens at the totals at the bottom. I highlight the item. It has a total of 6,564. I can highlight this other item here, and I now have a variance of $65. The $65 can be found here. I can select that one as well. Oops, I selected the wrong one. I can correct that and unselect this, and you can see that my variance now is 0. If the variance is 0 on a multi-select as many as you wish on the right, as many as you wish on the left, it doesn't matter. As soon as you have a matching amount, you can hit the split button. What the split button will do is it will eliminate all those transactions and basically reconcile them for you. Again, we go down. I can exit the application at any given point and come back. It will remember where I was. You do not need to save anything. You can just go ahead and open up the window, and we can go ahead and click show. And as you can remember, we did not save any records or use the save button of any kind. I am right back where I was. I can sort in any order that I want, and we're able to see things by date order. We can make the fields bigger by just go ahead and selecting this. We can move fields if you so desire. A lot of flexibility. At any point in time, you can export things to Excel. That might maybe be more useful. If you say, show me everything that was able to match so far, you can send this to an Excel file, and off it goes. So the intent is for you to be able to do the bank rec on a daily, on a weekly, or on a monthly basis, and do away with the pressure cooker at the end of the month to make the process faster and more efficient and diminish the amount of work that you have to do and have most of these things automated as best as we can. Having said that, that is what we do when we match items that come in from the bank statement. When one last piece that I would like to show you is we're able to reconcile to the general ledger as well. If I click on the reconciliation summary, you will see that it automatically has a few notes here on the left. It says that some of the GL wasn't posted and have some items that are not yet marked. So we're going to fix that, and I'm going to show you what that is. If I go and show all items, you will see items here, but they're not marked inside Dynamics GP. As you might notice, if you go inside Dynamics GP now, there will be no click marks inside Dynamics GP, which is what you normally would do. By just clicking our option to mark all items, it takes a few seconds, and off we go. It's all done. If I refresh my screen, you can now see that these items are marked, and if you were to go inside Dynamics GP, these items will be marked. If we have gotten rid of all the items in blue, this will most likely be 0. You could hit reconcile and you would be done. We had another issue, if you remember, in our reconciliation summary. It said that some items were not posted. So I go into the financial module. I go to my series post. I happen to know, and if you remember, we did a couple of transfers. So I'm going to go ahead and post these 2 items. And we'll see if that solves my problem or not. There we go. It refreshed. We're going to go back into Easy Bank Rec. Go to the reconciliation summary. You can see my errors have gone. So we try to let you know ahead of time if we have issues or not. Lastly but not least, we summarize all of the GL activity for this month in the top grid. And we tell you that the transfers, the payables, and the cash management transactions here match with what is in the bank module. We have a small variance here. The variance here is to let you know that there are some cash receipts that are having issues. The first one here, this is the cash receipts number, the general ledger number is not deposited. The other one has an issue. And we can fix that rather quickly by going to undeposited receipts. You can pick up the receipt the same way you would do in the bank deposit window. You could create the deposit and off you would be gone. So if we go back again one more time to the reconciliation summary screen, I now only have an issue. This is a timing issue. I would normally void the deposit and redo the deposit within the proper time frame. And then we will calculate for you the GL balance from last month. So if I put my amount from last month in here and I click update, it will verify that everything in GP is matching what I have. We add the outstanding amount here. That should match what our bank statement is. It doesn't right now because we have not taken care of all the items in blue. And therefore, if the items in blue were all taken care of, you would have been done 0, and you can go ahead and then go into GP. You would go here. You would hit the transaction screen. You would hit reconcile, and you would be done with the bank rec. So our story is really to summarize what we do in GP is really an add-on to GP. And obviously, we try to do things a little bit faster. And I'm going to switch back to the PowerPoint here. So we matched on import by document number. We did the matching by amount. We did some automated transactions. I showed you very quickly the differences in the GL, and then we marked all the items inside Dynamics GP. So if you spend a little bit of time a month on your bank recs, I think it's very worthwhile to have a more detailed demo with you, and you can certainly give yourself a big favor to then at least look at the product and see if it might save you some time on your end, and see if we might be able to save you time from a production point of view. So our goal is to make your month end much less stressful by being able to do matching of the bank statement on a daily or on a weekly basis, and have the end of the month be an absolute easy step to just reconcile to the general ledger. And if you're interested, feel free to contact Interdyne Artists, and they will put you in touch with us, or they can give you more explanation in that regard. And I will turn it over to any questions you might have, and we'll go from here.
Thank you, Guy. That was great. Just one question here. What different types of import files do you support? So
we support a variety of files. We support the BAI file, which is bai.org. It's the Bank Association Industry Standards. It allows to have your multiple bank accounts in one file. No mapping needed. We read them natively. We support QBO files, QuickBooks Online files. No mapping needed. We read them natively. And then we support a variety of CSV models. And if need be, we can do custom imports as well, and that's to be discussed at the time of demo or implementation.
Fantastic. Great. Well, thank you so much, and I really appreciate everyone's time today. Should you have any questions, want to see more, want to see what it costs, then we can talk through that. If you'll just reach out to your client strategy manager, and we can go from there. I really appreciate everyone. Thank you.